Hi, and good morning. I hope that everybody's doing well today. This is a new thing for me. I've decided to do a live just because I haven't really had the time to work on a video as much as I would like to. So this is a great way to get out some good content, but also to be able to enjoy the fact that we have things that are going on in our community that are really great, and let's share some of it. My name is Kimmy, and this is Worth the War. Worth the War is here to rethink love and relationship and to help people to avoid abuse. And that is the basic underlining reason that we do everything that we do here. So today we're going to talk about some things that are very clear cut. There are 5 lessons, the 5 top lessons or the most recent lessons that I have been taught by the survivors within this community. And I think it's really good to be able to revisit the things that we learn. My basic premise for Worth the War is that survivors really hold the key to help us to be able to create an environment where people are able to avoid abuse, to be able to identify it, to be able to learn the lessons that others have learned, that maybe they just didn't have anybody there to prepare them. Maybe they weren't prepared for some of the kinds of tactics that abusers use that we now know are extraordinarily common, especially in a narcissistic style of abuse. We have cycles we can look for, things that would stand out to us if we just had someone spend a little bit more time teaching it to us. So today what we're going to talk about is 5 lessons that survivors have taught. And these are things that people have sent me in the last month, actually. And the first lesson is it's okay to be alone. One of the best ways for us to prevent being a target for an abuser is for somebody who's to be really confident in the life that they're living, that it's okay to be alone. When we have a desperation, we might be more likely to have rose-colored glasses and just look over them and accept anyone when maybe, just maybe, if we were prepared for the fact that the longer that we are confident in our own skin, the more likely we are to identify when people are not who they say they are and they don't want good things for you. The second one is don't be committed to a dream. They aren't real. When we look at what we learn from music and movies and TV, and what we also get often in our younger peer groups, is we have this idealized kind of like glossy view of what love and relationship are. And the minute that we connect to that being what we're shooting for, we are more open to abusers, because what abusers do is they tie our reality to our dreams. And so they try to make it look like that's where I'm taking you. This is what we're going to be. We're going to be in this dream state of a relationship. And that's just not the reality of it. So if we stop and we ask ourselves, why are we, so in love with this movie or this idea? It's often because we want to be saved, or we want someone to complete us, or we want some kind of perfection to be achieved that we cannot achieve alone. And the truth is, as long as that's what we're shooting for, we are a target for anyone, because we, in our less than complete state, are going to be willing to accept things that we wouldn't otherwise. So don't connect yourself to dreams. Have realistic ideas of what love and relationship are. And if you do that, odds are the relationship you end up in is actually going to be better than any of the things that you would conjure up from some kind of fake reality. The next one is you are not the only one. If you are in a relationship that is unhealthy, if you find yourself someone saying one thing and doing another, someone not respecting your yeses or your no's, someone not really caring about the direction that you're going, you are not alone. 1 out of 4 people on average in younger years will be abused in some manner. The numbers get worse as we look at people who are in relationships and have had absolutely no preparation for what to expect in those relationships. So let's step back and remember that if you find yourself in an uncomfortable, a difficult, or even abusive relationship, you are not the only one. The numbers, unfortunately, if you know 100 people, a quarter of those people on average have experienced some of that. You're not alone. And those communities are waiting for you. And many of them are extremely healthy and help you to heal and get better. The fourth one is the story of abuse is varied. Often we think, or we hear about a story of abuse, well, that's not happening to me. The problem with it is abuse can come in many forms. It can be financial, it can be emotional, it can be physical, it can be sexual, it can be a lot of different things or combinations. And often some of the things that they hold in common aren't the method of abuse, but rather the fact that it comes in a cycle, that they see how much you'll take and then they push that line a little farther each time. And each time you get a little bit more dejected and start to believe the lies. often that are told about you that you think this is the best I'm going to get. And that goes back to this idea of a fake love. If you have this idea of fake love, odds are really good that you're going to be more susceptible then to an unhealthy paradigm of love. And the last one is, you will rise. If you find yourself in a abusive relationship, you will rise again. You will be able to get your life back. It takes time. It's harder than a traditional heartbreak to get over something like this, because there's the internal and the external things to heal from. There's the ideas that got you to where you are. So it's hard to believe it when you're in the midst of it and you think you're never going to get out of that cycle. Trust me, you will. Even the people who have experienced the highest levels of abuse, they get help, they get accountability, they find ways to heal, and they rise. And when they do, it's one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen. So these are the 5 things that survivors in the last couple of months have been sending me, that were the lessons that they learned that they weren't really sure that that they would ever rise above, and that they weren't really sure what it was that got them there. And some of these ideas of fairy tales and fantasies and isolation and these things are the things that feed abuse. So I hope these things will help you. I hope you will join our community by pressing the subscribe button. I hope you'll find us. We're on lots of other platforms, and we're listed down below in the description. Thank you so much for being here for my first live and just letting me kind of learn some new things as we build this community. We are really intending to do some good things for people to help them to avoid abusive relationships and rethink the way we approach love. So thanks for taking the time to be here. Take care.